What is up, super fam and bro Avengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today we are gonna be talking about, excuse me. And today we are going to be talking about Transformers: Rise of the Beast. We are going to be doing our review and open discussion of this amazing movie. If you guys haven't already, you can definitely check out my theater review. It is up on the channel right now. Actually, let me grab that link for you. I don't know why I didn't have it ready. That's my bad. Excuse me. Let's see.
Hey, I'm Riley.
Oh, excuse me. Ba-bow. Ba-bow. I actually really did enjoy this movie. Like I said, you can check out my thoughts in the theater review right there. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all the latest news, movie reviews, content, and more that we post every single day. Of course, that's all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And you can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all of my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in around that particular time, if you know what I'm saying. So, like I said, on today's show, we are going to be doing a review and open discussion of Transformers: Rise of the Beast. As always, we will be doing a 15-minute non-spoiler discussion and then a full spoiler discussion after that. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, you do not need to be worried. We will let you guys know when it is time for the spoiler. We will drop the spoiler warning everywhere up on the screen down below. It'll be everywhere that it needs to be to let y'all know to be careful and to tread carefully if you are going to be sticking around, okay? Because, you know, around here, we be spoiling stuff, but not all the time. Because we don't like spoilers. We only spoil things when people know what's already going on. If you want the spoilers, that's when we start to spoil stuff. And it's not a spoiler anymore, basically, is what I'm saying. And if we do spoil something, we'll let you know beforehand. Let's see. I really did appreciate this movie quite a bit. Let's get this overlay done. And over here, we are a little late today. That's my bad. It's been a lot of stuff going on. And when I say a lot of stuff, I mean a lot of stuff going on lately. So we're just trying to get it together, get locked back in, and keep it moving and grooving, if you know what I'm saying. So, first and foremost, Transformers: Rise of the Beast was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. When I first got out of the theater, let me see if I can find my review. Because I just kind of want to I just kind of want to talk about my first initial thoughts and then build from there. Let's see. Okay, so my first initial thoughts were this. Just finished Transformers. The movie was incredible. The action was amazing. Sound design was peak, filled with a bunch of unexpected dubs. This movie is clearly a reboot of the Transformers franchise, and I think we are off to an amazing start. And I gave it an 8.7 out of 10 just coming out of the movie theater. That was my first initial thoughts, my first feelings for it. And I kind of stand by this. I'm not going to lie. I pretty much stand by everything that I said. Fully, not even kinda. I do stand by everything I said. One thing I did forget to mention is that the soundtrack for this was freaking amazing as well. I think I did later on go to, reiterate that at the bottom, but the soundtrack for this was amazing. This movie was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. Everything that they did was legitimately amazing. I really did appreciate all of those things. Like all of the, I don't want to call it fluff, but all of those things, you know what I mean? The CGI could have been better, but I'm not gonna, it didn't throw me too far out of it too often, to be completely honest. There was actually moments when I was like comparing it to other things that we have seen recently and saying that the CGI was a lot better than some of the stuff that we've been getting lately from other big things, big franchises, if you will. Not to say that Transformers isn't a big franchise, but what I think you understand what I'm putting down. So basically, going into this movie, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I wasn't super hyped off of I guess I was kind of hyped off the trailer. It did look pretty dope, but at the same time, it didn't get me hyped to the point of where the way I was hyped in the movie theater. That's what I'll say. The hype that I had for this movie did not match the actual hype that I had once we got to the movies. Because once we got to the movies, was in the theater watching the IMAX movie, the screen got, once the theater went dark and you go into that IMAX experience, I felt a crazy wave of just hype coming over me. And I was just like, oh, snap. You know what? I think I do love these Transformers movies. And not only do I love these Transformers movies, but I haven't seen any Transformer movie in my life in the theaters. So seeing this movie was my first time seeing Transformers in the theaters. And it just did a lot for me. I really appreciated everything that they were doing. I thought the side characters were a lot better than they were portrayed, basically, I guess, in the trailer. There was I can't think of what her name is, but there was another side character who ends up being very pivotal to the story, and I don't know if I even remember seeing her at all in the trailer, and if I did, I just don't remember. Like, watching the movie, I really realized that I was only paying attention to certain moments from watching the trailer, because a lot of things were just were literally taking me by surprise, because I was like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? Who is this? What's going on here? But overall, I really did appreciate all of those things that they were like laying down for us, right? When we got into the movie, once we got into the movie theater, like the ambiance was there. Everyone was hyped for more Transformers. You already know, like, especially if you go opening night, the people that you're around are usually fans as well. And that was definitely dope. The person that I was sitting next to, you would have thought that me and him knew each other, because throughout the movie we were like looking at each other and like we were like mind blown about the same things. After the movie, we sat and talked for like the entirety of the credits, and even after the credits were over, we talked, because it was just like the vibes were there. You know what I mean? People miss Transformers, and not only do people miss Transformers, but people wanted to see them be done with like that G1 feel and the G1 look, and I think that they did do a wonderful job of tackling all of those things, and they definitely set themselves aside from the other franchise of Transformers that we have. What is it, like 7 or 6 movies? They definitely set themselves way apart from that. And at the same time, they built on the things that they gave us in Bumblebee, but actually expanded on those things even more and kind of set itself apart from Bumblebee as well. I think that Rise of the Beast does a really good job of making us care about the humans and the Transformers, as to where every other Transformers movie kind of made you, it was like forcing you to kind of watch the humans in a way. And in this movie, it doesn't feel like it's forced. It feels like it's part of the story. I really do feel like that. I feel like everything is a part of the story. I feel like every character is a character, right? It's not like, oh, human or transformer. It's treated as character. Now, of course, there are those side background characters as well, but for the majority, most of the characters are treated as, I'm tired of saying character, but most of the Transformers and humans are treated as are treated as MCs instead of SCs, which means main characters instead of side characters. So I really like the way that everyone works together. This movie also gives highlight or sheds light more to Bumblebee not to Bumblebee. I'm sorry. This movie does not shed a lot of light on Bumblebee because it expects you to already know who Bumblebee is. We've had 7 films from Michael Bay and another one from whoever we got it from, and all of those movies definitely did a lot to make sure we knew who Bumblebee were, building on his character, etc., 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 right? So I think this movie did a really good job of not putting Bumblebee at the forefront and instead putting a different character who is Mirage at the forefront and giving us this different outlook and this different view of the Transformers than we would have had before. I think that was a really a W thing to do and a W point, and I think that Mirage's character is really well balanced with Noah's character, who is the human MC. I think their relationship is balanced well, and Mirage is actually voiced by Pete Davidson, and that was crazy. I was not ready for that. The voice actors for this went crazy. Michelle Yeoh showing up yet again because she's in literally everything because she's amazing and great. And then we got Dominique Fishback who starred as Elena, and Elena is who I was actually talking about, was the side the SC that I wasn't really aware of from the trailers. And she actually does play a pivotal role. She sometimes does feel like a little bit of plot development only, and that's the only reason why she is there, to develop plots in certain points. But at the same time, they do a very good job of weaving her into the story from the jump to where it doesn't feel too overwhelming or too out of focus or out of nowhere. You know, it's like, what the hell is, it doesn't feel like, what the hell is going on here? It feels good. Villain in this, Scourge, he is amazing, legit A1. He is like a combination of Steppenwolf and Ultron. That's what it made me feel. I definitely got the vibes of Steppenwolf and Ultron. Like Steppenwolf talking to Darkseid was the vibes that I got whenever we saw Scourge talking to Unicron. You know what I mean? Those were the vibes that I got from there. Once again, I'm pretty sure everything that I'm talking about is in the trailer, so no spoilers here. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that at all. But to be completely honest, it was just kind of, this movie was so awesome because I did not expect to be so I don't want to say overwhelmed, but kind of overwhelmed, but consumed with kind of information in a way. Almost every point in this movie, they are telling you something. For sure, they are telling you something, and it's kind of just up to you on whether you lock in or not. But if you do lock in, you're able to figure out there's quite a bit of things going on here, and those things that are occurring, the things that are happening, it's not too confusing, at least for me, you know. And I'm a person that does watch a lot of movies, does watch a lot of sci-fi movies as well, a lot of different things like that. So something that I may think is not, you know, too bad, it may be a lot for somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to, you know, just what we got to see with this movie, I think they did a really good job of balancing everything. Like, it looked really good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it looked bad. I don't think there was definitely some moments where the CGI was a little bit, you know, iffy, but overall I think that they did a really good job. I mean, there's moments in this movie where there's certain things that are happening and it looks like, you know, a lot of the other Transformers movies, I guess. But I guess it's also hard for me to say that when I have not watched any of those Transformers movies in a very long time. I also did not get to see them in, like, the theater or anything like that. So I may be a little, I don't want to say tainted, but my viewpoint may be a little different than other people's viewpoint on that, just because I did get to, you know, I haven't seen those movies in theaters. Seeing this one in theaters was dope, and I think that this movie was probably one of my favorite Transformers movies that we have ever gotten. Just wholeheartedly. there was so much heart, there was so much family, there was so much warmth in this movie on top of all of the action and plot and character development, that I feel like it really did hold its own apart from the Bayverse, and holding its own so much that it established itself as a completely different thing. Like, and something that I am really interested to see where it goes. I want to know way more about not just this movie. I mean, not just like the movie, but the Autobots. I want to know more about everything. You know what I'm saying? I want to know about everything and everyone. Like I said, there's definitely those iffy moments of the CGI, but overall, I think overall the CGI did not hurt. It hit. You know what I mean? Was the CGI, because that's kind of the way I look at CGI. Does the CGI hurt something, or is it making it hit? And in this case, it made it hit. The times that I see different things like that moment right there that we just saw, those moments are freaking next level. It ranks everything up to like 1,000%, and it really doesn't. I feel like it's hard to be prepared for some of the moments that you get hit with, because it's so heartwarming, and then the next moment it's just action, and then they kind of do a very good job of a balancing act of going back and forth and showing us that, hey, we know what you love about Transformers, and it's a lot more than just them being robots and fighting. Is that a big part of it? Yes. Is that all of it? No. And I think that this movie does a very good job of showing that there is more to Transformers than just explosions and robots fighting and dudes screaming. Like, for real. That's kind of how I felt about the movie. And them going way out of their way to put forth more than just Autobots and Decepticons as usual. That's kind of one of the big things that I appreciate the most is them trying to go out of their way to show something different, to do something different, to build something different. And I think that this is a wonderful first step, and not just the first step, but I feel like it is also building more than just a first step of Transformers, but an entire universe that has been teased for a while now. And it's something that I am really pumped about getting. And I'm really pumped that we got to see this amazing movie. And I'm hoping that they do a lot more and it gets better in the future. Because we're still going, like, all these movies that we're getting, it's still, like, prime central of the terrible, horrible things that are going on when it comes to not graphic designers, but VFX artists and the people that do the CGI. We know that they're overworked and underpaid, and all of these movies that we're getting are in direct response of that. We also have the writer strike that's happening right now, and I believe there were rumors of actors also going on strike possibly. So we're looking at a lot of things that are having an effect on the movie scene, and I feel like now more than ever, people are finding out that being in tune, right? Like being not just in the know, but being, yes, in tune, in the know, locked in to all of the things that are going on within the movie scene. It helps. For me, it definitely helps me enjoy movies a lot more, because it lets me know that, hey, these aren't just, I'm not just when you start trying to critique movies, you have to actually go into movies and looking at a lot more than just what the movie is giving you, So I think that locking in with this movie and appreciating the relationships that they were building, appreciating the overall universe and world development that they were doing, it all felt right, and it made sense. Like, once we get to the end of the movie, I'm not left like, what the hell was even that, I'm left knowing what the hell that was, and I'm left very not just, I don't want to say pleased, but satisfied. You know, when I left this theater, I was satisfied with the end product that I got. I didn't feel like, man, I didn't feel like, oh man, like that was lame. They could have did so much more. Like none of that. It just let me, when the movie ended, I was like, that was awesome. I can't wait for what's next. And that's the same way I felt about Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I'm definitely saying that Across the Spider-Verse I liked tremendously more than this movie, but you know, how could I not? That movie was a 2, you know? Like, so this movie for me, it definitely hit all of the points that I needed it to hit for being a reboot. This is more of a reboot than Bumblebee was, because, you know, they didn't know if Bumblebee was going to be rebooted or not at first. Like, they found out afterwards that they weren't going to actually reboot the movie fully. So going into this movie and knowing like, hey, this is a full-fledged different universe. Let's set up an entire new thing and let's go for the gold and really put out all this new information and give these people what they've been wanting. A full-blown Transformers universe that kind of is existing already that we get introduced to at the same time. And I think that they did a wonderful job at doing that. And I also think that this isn't going to be the last time that we see this. And we're going to get to the point where there's just Transformers and a whole bunch of shit going on and everybody is just kind of copacetic with it. And I think they did a great job of giving us the bad guys that they gave us and giving us the breadcrumbs to know that there's something even bigger coming at some point, at some time, someday. I think that this movie is going to do pretty good, honestly, because it's a fun, action-packed, heart-filled movie. What I don't know. There's nothing for me to hate on a fun, action-packed, heart-filled movie, you know. And as well, I do have to also say I am not a huge Transformers fan. I mean, I love Transformers, but I mean, like, I don't know everything about the Transformers lore, you know? I don't know if there's like a nickname for Transformers fans, but I am not one of those. I don't know all the lore. I haven't read a lot of the comics. You guys know I'm a Marvel head around here. Got my Star Wars knowledge, not down packed, but I got it in there. But Transformers, I really don't know too much other than like Autobots, Decepticons, like a lot of the stuff that they even showed in this movie, I was like, holy shit. Even before this movie, I had to get, brush up on some of the things so I could know what the hell was going on. And man, like the universe is amazing. And I think that we deserve this. Like we deserve it. Like we deserve this universe. And I'll say that I'm not huge on knowing everything about about Transformers, but knowing what I have seen from different stuff, for sure, the yeah, I lost my entire train of thought, but this movie was great. This movie was fantastic. I think that they're going to be doing a lot more to build up the future of Transformers and the Hasbroverse as well. And I give this movie an 8.7. When I left the movie, I said an 8.7, and I think I'm going to stand by that. I have not saw this movie again, but I need to. But until I do see it again, I'm standing by that 8.7 out of 10 for sure. So I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And now we are about to get into our spoiler discussion of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. But before we do, Y'all already know. Let's get it.
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Don's Bon Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? Because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
Well, shout out to Dom for all of the gourmet popcorn that is bombing gourmet. And now we are going to get into our spoiler discussion. I know I'm a little late here, y'all, so I know a lot of y'all are probably going to watch it on the replay, but I still wanted to come out, talk about it, give y'all some of my thoughts and stuff, and we'll make a video out of this too and put it on YouTube so you guys can still be able to watch it and check it out. So yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, I definitely do appreciate you. But getting into some spoilers, I'm going to say one thing. I really appreciated that Optimus Prime did not die in this movie. I was very nervous going into this movie that we were just going to see Optimus Prime die again. And like, we've seen him die so many times. We've seen so many stupid things happen when it comes to Optimus Prime and Bumble. Like, all of them. I think it's just a lot of dumb stuff that's occurred. But in this movie, I think it all went down smoothly. Not the biggest fan of the way they brought Bumblebee back at the end, but still, I appreciated that he was dead at least, and not in the movie, and it allowed Mirage to be there a lot more. This thing right here was not a big fan of the. I don't know why, but it just kind of threw me for a loop when the Transformers, when the Beast Formers transformed into dudes, like human people, like. Or I don't even know what to say. It just took me by surprise. I don't know if I expected them to turn into cars or what, but seeing them turn into just samurai dudes, it was kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the biggest fan. I was like, you know. I was like, bruh, I think we could have did a little bit of something. But still, I think the Beast Formers were amazing. I loved them. I love that they were in this form the entire time. But it does make sense. You know, we got the dinosaurs that transform, so it makes sense we got all the Beast Formers now. You know, I mean, I don't know if they're called Beast Formers. I don't know if they're called that. Are they called Beast Formers? I mean, that would be a cool name, but I'm just saying that shit like it's the Maximals. Is that what they're called? Oh, there's all okay. Beast Formers is a thing. Don't know if it's the same thing as the Maximals. Isn't that what they were called? The Maximals? Yeah, the Maximals. Okay. So I don't know if we're going to get into like Beast Wars with this or what. But I'm here for it. I'm down for it for real. I anything that they give us with this franchise, I think it's going to be really good. Scourge was a great villain. I feel like we could have more Scourges. We could either have more Scourges or I don't know, or what. But we could have like a different Scourge, or we can just get into another villain. I don't think we're going to go into the Decepticons just yet, personally. I don't know why I don't think that, but I don't feel like that's on the cards just yet, is to get into the Decepticons. I think before we get into the Decepticons, we're probably going to deal with Unicron a little bit more. Maybe some other threats. I'm not sure what. But it just makes the most sense to me to keep it with, like, Unicron and all that type of stuff, you know? Especially because Unicron is such a big villain. It feels like they just teased Unicron instead of giving us fully what he could do. And it doesn't feel like he's just going to be a one and done type of thing either. You know? So, I think that this is going to be beginning to a beautiful, not just friendship, but a beautiful franchise that is the new Transformers. The kid in this movie, I was so happy he wasn't overly obnoxious. You guys know how I feel about the kid actors in these movies. They are freaking atrocious. But the kid in this movie was not atrocious. I actually liked the kid in this movie. I wanted to see more of him. I hope he's in the next movie. They gave us just enough of him. They gave us just enough of him to not be like, dang, this kid is the main character in this movie for real. Like, it didn't feel like that. It felt more like this is a good movie. The kid, this is his brother, you know? Like, it didn't feel like it was forced or any of those things. It felt right. And I really appreciated that it felt right. And I did want to see more of the kid with the Transformers. I did. I hope we do get to see more of him with the Transformers. I really do want to see an entire universe come from this to where we do have those movies. Even like, bro, I know people are tired of the Marvel formula, but if Transformers gets the Marvel formula, I'll be hyped. And I think I saw something coming from Alfonso, excuse me, my bad. I said Antonio, but from Alfonso Nation, and what I believe it was like was it from him? He either liked it, retweeted it, or the picture was from him. Don't quote me on any of those, but it was a roadmap slate. It was the movie slate for Transformers movies, and on that movie slate there was actually a space for a animated Transformers movie to be coming out in theaters. And if an animated Transformers movie comes out in theaters, I think that would be amazing, and it would give them just enough information to know what they should do. And in my humble opinion, I think that they should probably try to corner that market that's gonna get cornered before, like, Avatar is going to corner that market for sure. But I feel like Hasbro can get in there, you know, with the animated films and movies. Do I want to see more live action stuff? Of course. But I feel like live action always leaves way more room for complaint with the CGI and the actors and things like that. I don't know if animation leads to the same thing, you know? Even though I know people don't appreciate animation the way that they should just yet, I feel like we are on a surefire path to get that level of appreciation, to get that level of understanding that animated content and animated media is just as good as the live action media and content that there is out there. Whether it's movies or TV shows, animation can definitely tackle both of them. And when you're talking about animation, we can even get into video games, because that's technically animation, and you have a whole nother level of storytelling when you're able to actually get behind the character. And I believe that Transformers is one of those things that is well accepted and recepted as animation, but if they give it that next level, it'll be even doper. But after seeing this movie, I wouldn't rather them do that. I would want a mixture, like what Avatar's not doing that technically, because the Netflix show is not going to be Avatar Studios. That's its own thing. It's not canon, basically. The Netflix show is not canon to the Avatar universe. But I think it would be really cool to see them do that, especially with what we got to see at the end of the movie, and that is that Noah, our main character, has been watched has been watched, has been being, wait. The main character Noah is being watched by none other than the Joes. And that's G.I. Joe, baby. So we are going to see the Transformers and G.I. Joe actually cross over and be in the same universe. Now, once again, this does not mean that all the G.I. Joe movies are now canon and all of the other Transformers movies are all canon to this. I believe that this is doing a hard reset, not a soft. This is not a soft reboot. This is a hard reset to the entire Transformers universe, because it is telling us that the Joes have been existing in the universe, and this is also set in 94, so we're getting the foundation of the universe that we're about to get thrown into. And I feel like that's the best time. I feel like this movie is the best way to build a universe, you know? Instead of doing the whole give us the modern day and then go back in time, if we start back in time and then slowly build up to the modern day story, and we get that first trilogy building up the foundation of what we're going to see in the future, and then the next trilogy that we get is actually the story, I think that is a really dope way to do storytelling. And I know some people don't like it because it feels a little bit dragged out, because since you're doing the backstory first, you have to give a lot of lore, you have to give a lot of pillars and just understanding of how the universe works. But a plus when you're doing that is that, guess what? When you get into the future, quote unquote, you already know these backstory stories. You can just kind of go from there and keep it moving, and people can be like, oh, that's from this and that's from that, you know? So I don't think we're trying to connect Rise of the Beast to the Bayverse or anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm hoping that Transformers does really good in the theaters. I'll see it again for sure. I hope it does tremendous and we get to, tap in with that. It'll be interesting to see how that stuff goes. It'll be really interesting to see how all that stuff goes. And I think it'll also be interesting to see what's going to go on with G.I. Joe. And will they possibly try to bring like the Power Rangers into that as well? Because I don't know if you guys remember, but that is something that I was talking about a while ago, that me and Battery were talking about, that it was a possibility that there was going to be a Hasbro verse with the introduction of Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformers all working together and existing in the same universe, and or having Transformers and G.I. Joe possibly cross over with the Fast and the Furious. I think all of those things is very possible, no cap. I know it sounds insane, I know it sounds ridiculous, and it sounds crazy, but it is really, really possible for all of those things to happen. So it'll be really interesting to see if it does, when it does, and how it does. So that is that for our spoiler discussion. Boom, boom. I like the way your body go bomb, bomb, bomb. I don't know where that came from. That was insane. And now what I want to do is something that we did last week as well, or the last time, and that was check out the new Rockstar's breakdown of the movie, so we could be kind of more caught up and see what we might have missed, or what we didn't miss, all those good things, and get a little bit more insight on the movie, because they be breaking it down, diggy down. You know what I'm saying? Down, diggy down. So let's see what's gonna be going on here. All right. Oh, and today it's Tommy that we're going to be checking out, talking to us today. Let's get it and see what we can see, y'all.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, Tommy B, and I've assembled all my thoughts to roll out this breakdown of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is the second film of the franchise reboot, and it lays the ground for not only several new Transformer movies, but a Hasbro cinematic universe as well.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into it. The film opens with a narration by Optimus Primal. In Beast Wars, the Maximals are futuristic descendants of the Autobots. Thus, Optimus Primal is named after the legendary Optimus Prime. It seems the Maximals in this film follow a similar origin story. Primal explains that he and the other Maximals use the Transwarp Key, a futuristic tech that opens portals to other worlds, to narrowly escape Unicron, who is devouring their home planet. Their leader, Ape Link, sacrifices himself so that the other Maximals can escape to what appears to be prehistoric Earth. As Scourge annihilates Ape Link, we can see the emblems of his previous victims on his shoulder pads.
Also
on a quick glance,
amazing.
I noticed a
I love
Predacon emblem
Scourge.
and a Maximal emblem. Scourge adds Ape Link's emblem to his trophies. That bastard! Primal is the new leader, and we are on our way. Psych! Before we get into it, don't forget to check out the Break Room's discussion of Transformers. That video is linked in the bio. Myself, Coy Jandro, and Jay Washington talked all about the movie and where we think the franchise is going. We jump to 1994 in New York City. There's an ad for Stomp on the Taxi Cab, which began its run in New York in February of 1994, and it's time to meet our humans. The human element in these movies, I think, is always tricky. I think the 2007 Transformers and Bumblebee movies handled it the best, but there are a lot of times I think the human storylines in these movies kind of sideline the Transformers, and let's be honest, that's the action we want. Besides that, the Transformers already behave like humans, complete with complex emotions and empathy. The G1 cartoon had human characters, but in the end, it was all about those Autobots and Decepticons. Okay, end rant, because I really did like our two human protagonists. First, we meet Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, aka Philip Hamilton Usnavi from In the Heights. That's right, he's singing, he's dancing, but not in this movie. We get a look at his room, and boy, oh boy, is this room decorated to remind us that it is the 90s. There is, of course, a Puerto Rican flag shouting out Noah's heritage, along with posters of the Wu-Tang Clan, the female R&B trio SWV, the Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die album, along with the single for Big Papa, and a big poster of Nas pinned right above his desk. We see cassette tapes for De La Soul and Diana Ross. We see his dog tags letting us know that Noah was in the military. His full name is Noah Leon Diaz. He's got B-positive blood, and he's Catholic, so my mom's gonna like this movie. Hopefully God is on the side of the Autobots. Noah shows off his electronic skills by rigging a scrambler box to watch some cable for free. I may know where you can get those in Niagara Falls. And once it's working, we get a quick shot of the 1992 film Juice, starring Tupac Shakur and Omar Epps. It's here that we also establish the radio he uses to communicate with his younger brother Chris. They use code.
Bro, I'm telling you, Chris is my guy, bro.
It's
Chris
here
is
that we
my
also
guy.
establish the radio he uses to communicate with his younger brother Chris.
Chris is my guy, bro. Chris is kids and movies done right. For real, for real.
They use code names Sonic and Tails from the Sonic the Hedgehog video game that came out for Sega Genesis in 1991. In the kitchen, the calendar on the wall lets us know that it is June 1994 specifically. There's a Game Boy on the table, and Noah is wearing a neon Air Jordan tank top that I used to rock in my chubby little boy body. Chris is rocking a Power Rangers t-shirt, which is also owned by Hasbro. The Power Rangers are now in the Hasbro portfolio, so it makes sense to see them here. Chris is suffering from sickle cell anemia, and they're way behind on the medical.
Well, there goes my plan, because the Power Rangers exist in the universe, much like Mark Wahlberg.
Bills. When Noah shows up for a job interview, we see a security guard watching the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase on TV. It appears to be live, which, if that is the case, that would make this day exactly June 17th, 1994. It was a good day. After a failed job interview, Noah turns to his friend Reek, played by Toby and Wigwe, for some quick cash. And by
Okay, so I thought I knew who that was.
Noah turns to his friend Reek, played by Toby and
I thought I knew who this was, but I just couldn't think of it in my brain for some reason when watching the movie. Bro's a dope artist, and I liked him in the movie.
Wigwe for some quick cash. And by the way, we hope Noah would use some of that cash at Nerd Riot, our friends and merch partners who make this awesome Guardians of the Galaxy album shirt that I'm wearing. Join the riot over at nerdriot.shop. Okay, back to Noah and his newfound short-lived life of crime. He and Reek head to a fundraiser full of rich people and fancy cars, and Noah manages to sneak into the garage and swipe a sick Porsche. The film's director, Stephen Caple Jr., told Empire Magazine that choosing a silver and blue Porsche 911 Carrera from Mirage was a direct nod to Michael Bay, who uses a black Porsche 964 Turbo Turbo in his film Bad Boys.
Okay.
Of course, Michael Bay directed a few Transformers movies you may have heard. And while those are a separate timeline from these films, it's a nice homage to the director who originally brought the Transformers into live action. Mirage's Porsche design is specifically a Porsche 911 Carrera RS 3.8, which was a European exclusive model that only had 55 made in total. So yeah, stealing this car would be very valuable. Simultaneously, Elena, played by Swarm's Dominique Fishback, is interning at a museum which gives her access to ancient artifacts. Elena is an expert in authenticating artifacts, something her boss exploits for her own personal gain. You see Elena identify an authentic Da Vinci sketch, which is actually studies for the Trivulzio Monument, some sketches he made around 1508 for a statue that was never built. Along with the artifacts she's asked to identify is a curious falcon sculpture that she claims others have misidentified. Nobody wants to...
Like I said, I wasn't terribly upset with her character, but it definitely felt a little bit plot worthy, multiple, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you got to move the plot forward some way. So
listen to the intern. She manages to sneak into a locked room after hours to get a closer look at the sculpture. She scans it and is able to trace it back to the Incas in Peru. Also, notice the cave drawings the scan references. The people depicted in the drawings are not afraid of the animals, which I think are the Maximals.
At all.
Rather, they appear to be listening to them. The drawings, I think, are Cheetor, Rhinox, Optimus Primal, but no Air Razor, indicating they've been separated for some time. While investigating, she accidentally uncovers what we will learn is the transwarp key, or at least half of it. The key
I really like the way that they implemented all of those things into being like historical facts, you know, like her being able to find those different things and finding the thing about the Maximals. I liked that. And I also noticed that the Maximals were not feared by the humans. I really loved the touch of all of that. It felt right. It felt similar to the wiki stuff that they were doing with, you know, the other Transformers
key begins
saga.
to set off a beacon of light which attracts the attention of Optimus Prime. Not Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime Big Truck, okay? Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video.
Not Optimus Primal.
Who is custom picked for you, more scheduling attempts at Mirage, no, give yourself the gift of therapy. Meanwhile, back in the garage, Noah's having second thoughts about stealing a car, but his attempts at leaving are thwarted as the car comes to life upon hearing Optimus Prime's command to assemble. This is no Porsche, baby. This is Mirage, voiced by Pete Davidson. And by the way, he does an amazing job. He plays a great Autobot, reminded me of the 80s cartoon with the quippy comments and a great comedic delivery. I
really appreciated that. Pete Davidson did do a really good job. It felt like the OG cartoons. Like, I haven't seen every episode, but that was the vibe that I got from it all the way.
Pete Davidson, and by the way, he does an amazing job. He plays a great Autobot, reminded me of the 80s cartoons with the quippy comments and a great comedic delivery. Lay off Pete Davidson in this movie, guys. He's a great Autobot. There's an awesome police chase that we saw in all the trailers. Mirage duplicates, and it also duplicates an image of Noah, which I do not think was included in the trailer. At one point, he flips the bird to the police. Not a smart move. Mirage evades the police and heads to a warehouse where we meet RC and Bumblebee and a very pissed off Optimus Prime. Remember, this isn't your mid-2000s Optimus Prime crying about protecting humans. This Optimus thinks humans stink. But there's that damn beacon, which leads to the transwarp key, and the Autobots gotta go get it before someone bad does. And since it's a museum, most Transformers don't fit into door frames, Mirage volunteers Noah to sneak in, which foreshadows the theme of humans being needed to get into small spaces, while the Transformers do the heavy lifting. By the way, Noah only agrees to help because Mirage shows him he can turn into any car, and will let Noah sell him after he completes his mission, which is kind of effed up, if you ask me. The Autobots aren't the only ones who notice the beacon has lit up. Scourge, Nightbird, and Battletrap make the most dramatic landing in the Hudson since Sully and join the race to find the beacon. Optimus reminds us they've been on Earth for 7 years, which tracks with the timeline established in Bumblebee, which took place in 1987. Scourge tells Optimus that Primus would be ashamed. Primus is the living creator god of the Transformer race, whose body became the planet Cybertron. Primus is also the twin brother of Unicron. Should have eaten him in the womb. After Air Razor saves the day, she and the surviving Autobots meet up and she explains that she is a Maximal, a warrior from both your past and future. This is again in reference to the time-bending nature of the Maximal's arrival on Earth. She also mentions Unicron, which causes Optimus Prime to react. Clearly, Unicron has been a threat for a long time to all Autobots.
I love
She also
Unicron.
reveals that the key that Scourge and Co. escaped with is only half of the key, and the other half is hidden away for safety. Elena has identified the location of the second part of the key, and the plan is set to travel down to Peru. Before they leave, Noah has to say goodbye to his little bro, but Mirage makes too much noise and Chris discovers him. Noah says the giant robot is a friend from work, which Mirage balks at and points out that Noah's been inside him, potentially the most crass joke in a Transformers movie ever, but also probably foreshadowing what's to come in Act 3. First, we need to get to Peru. How are they getting there? Stratosphere, baby. Voiced by John DiMaggio, my favorite robot designed for bending. Stratosphere was previously seen in the old films as a Lockheed C-130 Hercules, but in this movie, he's a sputtering old cargo plane. And we also get to see him in robot mode for the first time on film. Look at that adorable aviator hat. Stratosphere is big enough to fit the whole crew, and we land in Cusco, Peru, just in time for a giant festival. Also joining the gang in Peru is Wheeljack, this time voiced by Cristo Fernandez, aka Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso. Transforming is life. His exchange about racism with Noah is really funny and also kind of a thinker. The parade features a giant rhino and a cheetah, and I believe an ape in the background, and I can't help but wonder if this festival is actually a celebration of the Maximals, or at least their legend. Optimus Primal introduces the Autobots to the tribe that has guarded the other half of the transwarp key for ages. Primal tells Prime that humans are more than meet the eye. A nice inverse of the usual slogan used to describe Transformers. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Scourge connects the two sides of the transwarp key, which creates a huge third act portal machine inside a volcano. Unicron can finally begin his ascent to Earth. Side note, Coleman Domingo's voice as Unicron is incredible, and he's filling some pretty big shoes. The previous voice of Unicron was Orson Welles in Transformers.
I am Unicron.
The Maximals and Autobots unite for the final battle and face off against Scourge. Mirage sacrifices himself to protect Noah, and we learn that Noah's brother Chris has given Mirage the nickname Knuckles, a third Sonic the Hedgehog character who first appeared in Sonic 3. Surprisingly,
I don't think I caught
Mirage
that.
is only mostly dead, and in a final act, transforms into an exosuit around Noah. We've seen the
Okay, so
is only mostly dead, and in a final act, transforms into an
okay, exosuit, right? I have issues with the exosuit, but I didn't know that it was calling a callback to something that was also, you know, and I think a G1 thing, which is amazing now that I know that. Didn't know it at the time. But you know what threw me for a loop? The fact that this looked better than Ironheart did in Wakanda Forever. I just cannot believe that. Like, I just couldn't believe how much better he looked than Ironheart did.
Exosuit around Noah.
Mind-blowing.
We've seen the exosuits in the G1 cartoons. Noah seems no match for Scourge, but Prime has his back and also slides in that breakdancing pose. I like it. I love that Prime fights dirty here. Chucks some lava into Scourge's face like a heel wrestler throwing salt into the eyes of his opponent. Scourge begs Unicron for help, and he obliges by setting Scorponok, but it's too late. Prime cuts off his arms, tears off his head. In the process, the console where Elena needs to enter the safeguard is destroyed. As is tradition, Optimus Prime offers to sacrifice himself by destroying the key. He breaks the key, and Unicron and all the surrounding Terracon tech is sucked back into the portal. Noah saves Optimus Prime, and then those two are saved by Optimus Primal, cementing the bond between Autobots, humans, and Maximals. Noah is reunited with his family back in New York, and he's back on the job hunt. He goes to another job interview at Slizza Imports, and this time the security guard is watching 60 Minutes, where we see Leslie Stahl interviewing Elena, who's being credited for discovering the hidden Incan village beneath the church in Peru. She's living her dream. During the interview, Noah is asked about his recent work in Peru, which he refuses to disclose. But this interview is more than meets the eye as well. He knows exactly what Noah has been up to in Peru and who his big friends are. The man adjusts a Real Hero Award on the wall, which reveals a secret facility where they're building a futuristic-looking jet that could be a Sky Striker. Noah discovers that this company is a front for the G.I. Joes, and they want to join forces with the Autobots. While Noah doesn't outright accept the job, it looks like Hasbro is trying to launch a new cinematic universe, and I am here for it. The recruiter is listed as Agent Burke, which could be a reference to the character Matthew Burke, a James Bond-esque character who was featured in the G.I. Joe cartoon episode The Spy Who Rooked Me. The post-credit scene features Noah showing Reek what looks to be a Porsche rebuilt with scraps. The Porsche is, of course, Mirage. Reek is now aware of Transformers, and I think Noah may be putting a team together. Woo! What a ride! I definitely feel like the franchise is on a cool path, especially with the G.I. Joe crossover they teased.
Noah
if you want more of us talking Transformers, we broke it down in the break room. The link
Okay, I like that. I like that. I didn't even think about that. Noah putting the team together and it having bro on it. Oh, that would actually be really dope. See, I think that's definitely a W. I think all of that could be amazing. I need the whole Hasbro universe. I need the Hasbro verse for show. It seems like they're doing a really good job so far, because I am intrigued. It seems like everyone is intrigued with what they're going to be building. Majority of everybody. I love the old school G.I. Joe movies. So if we got a new one, I would love that, and even give us Noah in it or something like that with the G.I. Joe movie as someone to be, more in tune with, and then give us the next Transformers movie another couple of years down the road, since the last one was 1987 and this one was 1994. Give us that same time gap into more into the future, and then let us see all of it. I like it, man. I know that G.I. Joe or Snake Eyes was supposed to kind of be the launch of a lot of things, but that movie compared to this one, that movie was already terrible, but this movie was incredible compared to that movie. I don't even know what they were doing with that Snake Eyes movie, for real. I don't know. I literally have no idea what they were doing. So hopefully they give us something better, something amazing, and something great. And I am super here, and I am all the way on board, and I hope you guys are too. I definitely would like to hear what you guys think about this movie, what you guys would rate it out of 10 on the Marvel Bros scale. Put it in the comment section down below. Give me any of your theories or your thoughts about the way that you liked it, the things that you didn't, all of it. I want to know it. Let me know. With all that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their Monday. Should I say, I hope everyone has a marvelous Monday. And before we get out of here, I do have an awesome announcement that I want y'all to be a part of, or want y'all to know. So here we go. Let's get into it. Sensei Fito, aka Vane Sensei, and I'm here with my bro.
Yo, y'all already know it's Vane DeVito, bro. We up in here, man. Today we came with a little surprise for y'all, which was a little surprise for us as well. Thanks. And we've been waiting on this surprise. So y'all see it.
You feel me?
Little delivery box.
We got the little box
from
none other than Glitch Energy, yo.
Yo, big glitch out here. You know what I'm saying?
Shake it. Shake it like a sauce. Shake it like a glitch. Shake it like a glitch. Shake it like a glitch.
We in there.
Ooh, it smells dumbass good.
Fire? Ooh.
This is the starter kit. I believe it starts at $15. We got the shaker, 5 flavors. I'm not sure if that's how it comes. That's what they sent to us. So we definitely appreciate that. But y'all definitely check it out. Tell us what your favorite flavor is if you've already tried it.
I'm on go mode. I'm on go mode, bitch, I'm on go mode.
Oh, man. All that stuff I just said was not. Well, that is right. My esports org is officially sponsored by Glitch Energy. So you guys can go to Glitch Energy right now, and you can use our code to get 10% off your purchase. And yeah, man, and it'll help support my organization and all that good stuff. So I definitely hope that you guys check it out. Sign up. You don't have to sign up, but check it out. Purchase some, Glitch Energy, and we definitely appreciate all the love and support, for real. Use code Vane to get 10% off your purchase. You feel me? But with all that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like on the post. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros. Stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And you can follow me on social media at Sensei if you need to stay with all my thought, theories, and opinions about anything that may be going on at that particular time of day, night, noon, evening, or whatever. I appreciate y'all, and I hope everybody has a marvelous rest of their day. And as I always say, stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior.
If you guys would like to support Marv Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.